Right, I have this excellent new tool to show you today, and it's the Chinese copy of the Ken Onion edition 15 degree to 30 degree variable speed sharpener with abrasive belts. This machine is made of a strong ABS type plastic, and you can get it in either 110 volt to 127 volts or 220 volts AC. I accidentally got 110 volt AC here, so I'm using a converter transformer which I also got from Banggood to convert 220 volts down to 110 volts. The knife sharpener comes in this box here, and it comes with this excellent user's guide which is written in English and very easy to understand. It's well written with a lot of detail and drawings and photographs throughout to identify the type of knife blades and how to set the machine up and to actually sharpen all different types of tools. And reading it, I would say that anybody that actually buys this machine would be able to easily set it up and use it. It has a nice quality long power cord, and on the underside here there's some soft rubber feet which help it to stand on a surface like that and it won't move about easily. It also comes with 5 different belts, one that's already on the machine and the other 4 in this bag here. And there's A180, A320, A600 and A1000, and that refers to the actual grit of the actual belts, 1000 being the finest grit. So to use this knife sharpener you have this trigger power on switch here with the adjustment for speed, plus you have a lock on the side similar to a power drill to actually lock the motor on while you're using it. And like on the power drills, when it's going, if you just pull it again it releases the lock and you can let go of the trigger to turn it off. So when you're going to sharpen a knife you have these 2 guides here and these 2 rollers. The knife is put up against the guide and is drawn through on the roller to sharpen that bevel, and then on this side the same to sharpen the other side. And you have a choice of 4 different bevel angles from 15 to 30 on this wheel here. So you have 15, 20, 25 and 30. When you turn that alters the guides to whatever angle you're going to set it at. And you can see that from this side here. It alters both sides at once so that they're exactly the same angle. And there are certain blades which you can actually use the rollers, and certain blades that you may not be able to use them. So if you can't use the roller for a certain blade, you pull it out and turn it so it's out of the way. Plus you do that for when you're changing the belts as well. And it's extremely easy to actually change the belt. There's a little catch here which you can actually lift up the front roller. It's on a spring mechanism. So lift up the front roller and then slide the belt off from the top. And when you put the new one on, put it first on the underside and slide it up in between the guides like that and let that down on the roller. So that front roller with the spring mechanism is the actual load tension on that belt, and there's no need for any adjustment except for the tracking of the belt, and that's controlled by this lever here which you can slide into any position. That alters the main drive roller, the actual angle of it. You can see that moving when I position that lever. And when you actually start it up and alter that lever, it will position the belt, and you put it into the best position until the belt runs central on the top roller. I'll just show you that in operation. So to sharpen a knife, I'll use the roller here for this pen knife, and what you do is put the blade up against the guide. You've chosen the bevel what you want, put the blade up against that guide, like I say, and let basically the weight of the blade go onto the belt as you draw it through. You don't press down, you just let the weight of it go. You can actually use the roller there like that and do that bevel that side, and then go on the roller on this side up against that guide to do the opposite bevel. And like with that one there, I can't get right up to the end of the blade there, so I would actually probably turn that like that, use the guide, and I can go in further. And if you want to, you can actually do the bevel on the front freehand. I've seen people doing it like this. And with sharpening any knife or blade, you don't want to actually get the edge of the blade hot, because that can actually ruin the temper of the blade. And this is one of the great things about this machine, is the variable speed. You can have it on a nice low speed and it won't actually get hot while you're sharpening it. And that's done a lovely edge on that, and it's razor sharp. And it is a really effective knife sharpener, and it takes a little bit of getting used to. All you've got to remember is to actually hold that blade up against the bevel guides and keep it on there, particularly when you're coming back, maybe at the end, so that you don't actually tilt off of that bevel. If you do it really nice like that, smoothly, all the way back to the end, you'll get a lovely bevel like that. You can see that's really good. And like I say, that is razor sharp. It would actually cut that paper, I think, with And if you're going to sharpen scissors, there's another bevel angle on the back here. So open out the scissors and then you can actually rest it on that guide and go across like that. And they were quite blunt actually, but now they're razor sharp. And I've sharpened several pairs of scissors already, and I've done all my kitchen knives. They were as blunt as old boots, and when I've sharpened them, my wife said they're too sharp. And we always make sure with kitchen knives that we wash those up first and get them back in the drawer after they've been sharpened, because they're so deadly. Another thing you can do with this tool is you have a lever here at the back, and you can actually press that lever in and turn it round to another preset position. I think there's several positions you can actually turn it to for doing different types of work, and I find it's a very good deburring tool or sanding tool on this lower side when it's set like that. It's actually great for taking burrs off of edges of wood like that, or even plate metal. And again, in that mode, you'd actually pull this one out on its spring and put it in the position like that, so it's not in the way at all. And using it in that position there would actually be great for doing small jobs on the top here. And I find it a really nice safe tool to actually use when you saw off stainless steel screws or whatever, to actually take the sharp edges off on the belt there in that position. And I actually find it's really excellent like that for all different types of small components, very small components. You can actually deburr things with precision, and there's no actual fear like you would have when you're going onto a disc sander or a large belt sander of it actually snatching the small component out of your hand. And I actually leave mine set in this mode on the bench all the time for actually doing small components like that. It's a nice compact tool and it doesn't take up much room. And I think it's absolutely fantastic to actually have it like that to use. And you could even clean tools, say on this end here, use that as a rest. And it's a very versatile tool. And when you actually look at the manual, like I said, and the Banggood listing, there's some great photographs of it on there, and it shows you all the different types of blades and tools it can do. It's very good value for money, and I'm really pleased with that.